You know that moment when your jaw hits the floor and you're afraid to pick it back up because reality might bite? Well, picture Bitcoin suddenly worth more than every public company on Earth and XRP tagging along for the ride. Okay, so here's why I've been pacing my apartment like a caffeinated raccoon. Blocksteam's Adam Back just threw a moon-sized prediction into the crypto chat room. Now he says Bitcoin could balloon to a $200 trillion market cap. Yep, trillion with a T. 200 of them. Now if that number doesn't make your brain do backflips, wait until you see what it does to our old friend XRP. Stick around because by the end of this story, you're either going to be yelling to the moon or quietly Googling kind of paper bags for hyperventilating. Okay, so I first saw Back's tweet at 2 a.m. right after doom scrolling headlines about inflation, and I nearly dropped my phone on the cat. Why 200 trillion? Well, turns out Michael Saylor and his band of Bitcoin hoarders are scooping up coins faster than I can finish a family-sized pizza. Now, public and private firms have already tucked away 1.119 million BTC. That's about 5.33% of the entire supply. Saylor alone guards 553,555 of those digital nuggets, worth casually $52 billion. That's the kind of stack that makes Scrooge McDuck's vault look like pocket change. Now, Back argues that if companies keep gobbling Bitcoin like it's the last slice of cheesecake at a wedding buffet, then we're going to hit what he calls hyper-Bitcoinization, right? So think of it as the crypto version of a snowball rolling down a hill, except the snowball is made out of gold bars and the hill never ends. Now, as Bitcoin's supply dries up, demand could nuke the price into space, keeping the total market cap from today's kind of, or at least I should say taking the total market cap from today's kind of shy $1.87 trillion to a jaw-dropping $200 trillion mark, a 10,595% jump. And if you've ever wondered what percentages look like when they kind of start wearing capes, that's it. Now, here is where our XRP story gets spicy. Historically, XRP and Bitcoin tango in the same direction. CoinMarketCap's data shows that they've been dancing in steps all month, right? And even when a DJ tried to switch the song, that correlation matters, right? Because if Bitcoin becomes the Hulk of finance, XRP is likely to catch some kind of gamma rays too. Now, at Bitcoin's kind of projected dominance of 64.73%, the whole crypto market could mushroom to roughly $309 trillion. Okay, so let's hit pause for a sanity check. 300 trillion. Now, that's more zeros than there are ants at a picnic. And with XRP's current dominance at 4.35%, its slice of that delicious pie would be approximately $13.44 trillion. Divide that by the 58.5 billion XRP coins floating around, and you kind of land at a price of around $229 per token. Now we're talking about 10,534% leap from its kind of $2 range that XRP lounges at today. So imagine finding a kind of vintage comic in your attic and discovering that it's worth a Lamborghini, right? Same buzz, fewer dust bunnies. Now, before you go and race off to tattoo $229 on your kind of ledger, let's address the elephant wearing the kind of rocket suit, right? Is this dream even remotely realistic? Analysts at Telegon think XRP might clear the $200, at least the dollar hurdle, I should say, by 2050. Changelly is more optimistic, placing that milestone in 2040, with the kind of price band topping out at around $272. It sounds exciting, right? But remember, 2040 is 15 long years and at least 3 inevitable crypto winters away. Now, if you're anything like me, right, deciding what you want to eat for lunch tomorrow feels risky enough. Still, Back's math isn't pure science fiction, right? Corporate treasuries love scarcity, and Bitcoin's hard-capped 21 million supply is the digital Mona Lisa of scarcity, right? Every slice that 𝗖𝗔 snags leaves fewer crumbs for the rest of us, pushing up scarcity price tag. So if the snowball really does start rolling, altcoins won't just tag along, some will hitch a ride on the roof rack. XRP's utility in cross-border payments and the Ripple's network partnerships with banks could give it a turbo boost during the frenzy. And yet, here's the snag that keeps me up at night. To crack $100, XRP still needs a market cap of $5.73 trillion. That's bigger than the entire crypto space today. Tripling that to hit our kind of dreamy $300 to $500 range kind of competes with gold's total value. We're basically asking XRP to become the king Midas in digital flip-flops. Possible, yes. Possible or probable tomorrow morning? Let's breathe. If you like unpacking these crypto what-ifs with a few, or at least a crew of equally obsessed market nerds, slide into our free crypto Discord server. There's a link in the description down below. It's kind of where we debate stats, share charts, and occasionally calm each other down when price alerts go wild at 4 a.m. And speaking of wild, if you're itching to stack XRP or any other coin before the next big wave, hop onto the Blowfin crypto exchange through the link that is in the description down below. Blowfin's the kind of sleek, feature-packed hatchback that leaves clunky exchanges choking on dust, tight spreads, clean UI, and sign-up bonuses that practically hands you trading ammo. So get in early while it's still the up-and-coming or best up-and-coming platform instead of overcrowded juggernauts that everyone complains about later. Okay, so back to our story. Imagine it's 2040. Bitcoin's blazing past a $200 trillion cap like a rocket through its birthday cake, right? Traditional finance is scrambling to rewire itself, and central banks, the old lions of money, are suddenly chasing digital kind of gazelles across the savannah, right? In that world, 40-year-old you kind of opens up a wallet app and sees XRP kind of, tickling the $230 line, right? You try to act cool, but your coffee spills because your hand is shaking, right? Hyperbole? Maybe. But remember, 10 years ago, calling a $100,000 Bitcoin sounded like science fiction too. The real challenge this time is that markets don't move in straight lines. They kind of zigzag like a kid on a sugar skates on a sugar high, right? Regulations kind of fire warning shots, whales dump bags, sentiment flips faster than a pancake at dinner. Hyper-Bitcoinization demands persistent demand and minimal political setbacks, right? A single harsh tax regime or technology hiccup could stall adoption. And let's be honest, every bull run needs fresh money. Retail enthusiasm alone won't plug a $1 trillion gap. So we need pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, and Uncle Sam's rainy day stash. Still, there's an underrated hero in this saga: utility. Right? Bitcoin may be digital gold, but XRP's superpower is transaction speed and cost. Right? Its cross-border payments remain clunky. RippleNet is poised to grease the gears. Right? Imagine corporations wiring billions of dollars overseas without sweating fees or settlement delays. Right? That functional kind of edge could anchor XRP's multi-trillion-dollar dream while hype does the heavy lifting. And data backs this up. Ripple today, on-demand liquidity corridors kind of handles roughly 50% of their Latin American flows, right? Even modest growth in those corridors can snowball if banks hunted efficiency decide that saving a few basis points is worth ditching old systems, right? Layer on central bank digital currencies, linking into RippleNet, and XRP suddenly looks less like a speculative lightning bolt and more like the plumbing for global cash. Plumbing may not be the most glamorous, but try living without it for a day and you will all be, ankle deep in regret. And so here's the juncture where numbers meet human psychology. Markets live on stories as much as spreadsheets. Now, even if enough kind of people believe Bitcoin's going interstellar, they'll buy first and rationalize later. That collective buying can self-fulfill, right? At least temporarily, right? If XRP rides shotgun because it's one of the oldest, most liquid altcoins around, and institutions already hold it on their kind of balance sheets. Now, in hype seasons, familiarity kind of spends like a currency. And of course, not every analyst is lighting sparklers here. Skeptics point out that at $229, XRP's market cap alone would dwarf Apple, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪𝗀, and Microsoft combined. Can one payment token genuinely absorb that much value? Maybe, right? If the token underpins a new financial backbone. Maybe not if regulators clip its wings or another faster protocol swoops in. That's why risk management isn't a buzz kill, it's actually a seat belt. And you don't want to skip the roller coaster, just buckle up and you can scream safely. It's also important to understand that market cap is only representing the actual macro level pricing. And we understand that price itself and market cap do not represent liquidity, right? They are just fabricated from supply demand. So if we do see imbalance between the supply and the demand, the price will move accordingly. Okay, so let's fast forward to the climax, right? The imaginary day that Bitcoin flips every single asset class. Global headlines read, Bitcoin becomes world reserve asset. Treasury desks, scramble to reshape portfolios. Retail investors who once thought blockchain was a kind of Lego kit are bragging at barbecues about early XRP bags, right? Price tickers look like phone numbers, and in that electric kind of moment, the impossible $229 XRP isn't just plausible, it's actually yesterday's news. So you lean back, memories flashing of nights that you spent on Discord arguing whether 50 cents was, resistance. You kind of smirk, realize the journey mattered as much as the destination. And then reality winks. Markets cool, profit taking kicks in, and Twitter turns from euphoria to hot takes about healthy corrections. And that's the cycle. The takeaway, long-term conviction plus sane positioning sizing beats panic selling and chase buying every single time. So where do we land, right? Adam Back's projection is outrageous, but not without precedent in a world where money printers spin non-stop and companies worship scarce assets. If Bitcoin does climb to, at least I should say, climb Mount 200 trillion, well, XRP's 3-digit price tag isn't just wishful thinking. It's a mathematical kind of sidecar. But capital isn't destiny. Regulation, technology shifts, and human emotion could bend this path in 1,000 different ways. And so I'm going to leave you with this. Crypto history rewards the curious who kind of stick around, learn, and adapt. Right? Whether you believe in $229 XRP or prefer something humbler, right? Surround yourself with data, conversation, and the occasional meme to stay sane. Our Discord link is waiting for you. It's down in the description down below. And if you want an instant kind of brain trust, and if you're kind of itching to put theory into practice, grab that Blowfin link that's in the description down below, snag your bonus, and see why traders are calling it the kind of sleek new playground for crypto degenerates, present company proudly included.